The NFL is a professional football league, but the internet turned it into a meme factory. These are the 20 most viral moments in NFL history. Number 20 is Deshaun Jackson proving that confidence without awareness is expensive stupidity. Eagles vs. Cowboys 2008, nothing but green grass ahead. The end zone is 5 feet away, and Jackson tosses the ball at the 1-yard line like he's clocking out early. Touchback, Cowboys possession. The clip went so viral that parents showed it to their kids as a life lesson about finishing what you start. But if premature celebration is embarrassing, number 19 is pure chaos disguised as a celebration. Antonio Brown scores against the Browns and starts twerking in the end zone. Full commitment, no hesitation, just a grown man in pads bouncing while 70,000 people process what they're witnessing. The NFL fined him immediately, but the clip spread faster than wildfire. AB gave the internet exactly what it wanted, something to argue about for weeks. Now, if you think that's absurd, number 18 says, "Hold my clipboard." Jim Marshall recovers a fumble in the 60s and takes off like his cleats are on fire. 66 yards of pure determination, crosses into the end zone, celebrates with fans, hands the ball away. Tiny problem, he scored for the wrong team, ran the entire length in the wrong direction, and gave the opposition a safety. Marshall played another decade after this, but this moment? This is what everyone remembers. Speaking of things people remember forever, number 17 involves pre-game planning that deserves its own documentary. Joe Horn scores against the Giants, makes a beeline for the goalpost, and pulls out a flip phone he'd hidden there before kickoff. Just starts making a call right there in the end zone, grinning like he'd pulled off a bank heist. The NFL fined him 30 grand, but the celebration became legendary, a $30,000 moment that paid dividends in internet immortality. If Horn planned his moment, number 16 had his planned by the turf itself. Daniel Jones breaks free on an 80-yard run, nothing but daylight ahead. He makes it to about the 70s when his legs betray him completely. Face plants with nobody within 15 yards. The Giants still scored, but Jones knew this clip was going to follow him forever. He got up smiling because what else can you do when the universe decides you're the punchline? But at least Jones kept his pants on, which is more than number 15 can claim. Tommy Kelly's making a routine tackle when his waistband decides it's had enough, just gives up entirely in front of 65,000 people and national TV. The cameras caught everything. The internet preserved it forever, and somewhere, his teammates still bring this up at every opportunity. Now, number 14 takes us from wardrobe malfunctions to architectural disasters. Jimmy Graham scores and dunks the football over the crossbar so hard that the goalpost literally bends. They had to stop the game, bring out maintenance crews with tools and ladders, and fix the stadium while 70,000 fans cheered. The NFL banned dunking celebrations entirely after this. One man bent a goalpost and changed the rule book. If that's a creative celebration, number 13 is calculated disrespect elevated to art. Terrell Owens scores at Texas Stadium, sprints to midfield, and plants himself on the Cowboys star like he's claiming territory. Arms spread, Cowboys furious. Later in that game, he does it again. This time, George Teague levels him right there on the logo. The clip went viral before "going viral" was even a phrase. That's button pushing that makes careers memorable. But number 12 didn't need disrespect, just pure, unfiltered honesty. Sam Darnold gets destroyed by the Patriots, throws his third interception, and mutters into a hot mic, "I'm seeing ghosts," live. On Monday Night Football, the entire internet heard it simultaneously. Patriots defenders are smirking, Twitter's melting down, and Darnold sitting there realizing his inner monologue just became public domain. Speaking of sentences that define careers, number 11 is a rant that became a rallying cry. Jim Mora walks into the press conference looking done with everyone's nonsense. The reporter asks about the playoffs. Mora explodes. Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? The exasperation, the delivery, the sheer reality struck a chord. 20 years later, fans still quote it whenever their team disappoints. If CPR is weird, Ezekiel Elliott scores on Thanksgiving, spots the giant Salvation Army kettle, and just jumps in. Disappears completely before popping back up like a kid in a ball pit. Perfect timing. festive vibes, and it caused donations to spike for charity. That's how you turn 6 points into a cultural moment. But number 8 went beyond perfect into unhinged territory. Randy Moss catches a touchdown at Lambeau, turns to the crowd, and pretends to pull his pants down. Joe Buck called it a disgusting act, with horror usually reserved for war crimes. The NFL fined Moss 10 grand. Moss explained he was mocking Packers fans who'd mooned the Vikings team bus. The pettiness? Legendary. Now number 7 shows sometimes you don't need to do anything except let the universe handle comedy. Mike Tomlin's on the sideline during a Ravens return, and Jacoby Jones is flying down the field. Tomlin casually sticks his leg out like he's trying to trip him. On camera, in front of millions. Cost him $100,000 and zero respect from anyone who wasn't a Steelers fan. But number 6 didn't need a trip, just a complete mental shutdown. Blair Walsh lines up for a 27-yard field goal in the playoffs. The Vikings are about to knock out the Seahawks. The kick hooks were left so badly that it looked intentional. Walsh just stood there processing what his leg had done to an entire fan base. That kick became a meme, a reference point, and a scar Vikings fans still touch when feeling vulnerable. Speaking of scars, number 5 involves a double doink Chicago will never forget. Cody Parkey lines up for a 43-yard game winner in the playoffs. The kick hits the left upright, bounces onto the crossbar, and falls back into the field. Soldier Field went silent. Twitter went nuclear. It wasn't just a miss, it was a 2-part tragedy in high definition. Now number 4 proves you don't even need a meme, just noise. Seahawks versus Saints, 2011 playoffs. Marshawn Lynch takes a handoff, breaks tackle after tackle, throws defenders aside like furniture, and runs 67 yards for a touchdown. The stadium erupts so violently, it literally registers as an earthquake. Scientists recorded it. Fans caused seismic activity with pure emotion. The play went viral instantly. The nickname Beastquake was born, and suddenly a football run was part of geological history. That's not a highlight, that's Earth responding to vibes. But number 3 is the moment that turned an entire franchise into a punchline. Thanksgiving night, Jets versus Patriots, national television. Mark Sanchez drops back, panics, and runs directly into his own lineman's backside. The ball pops out, the Patriots return it for a touchdown, and chaos unfolds. It wasn't just a bad play, it was an instant meme. ESPN replayed it endlessly. Analysts ran out of words, and butt fumble became part of the football dictionary. One collision, one clip, and an entire era of Jets football was defined forever. Now number 2 is where playoff dreams die in the stupidest way possible. Cowboys trailing by 6, 13 seconds left, no timeouts. What they call is a quarterback draw. Dak runs up the middle, slides, and the ref can't spot the ball in time. The clock hits 0. Season done. Analysts spent days trying to explain the logic. Nobody ever really could. And finally, number 1 belongs to a moment so perfectly absurd, it became the gold standard. Justin Jefferson, 4th and 18, game on the line, falling backward in double coverage. Kirk Cousins throws a prayer, and Jefferson snatches it one-handed while defenders watch like they're witnessing something their brains can't process. Bills players just standing there frozen. Coaches losing their minds. Fans rewinding it 5 times to confirm it actually happened. That's not just a catch. That's a moment that makes people who don't even watch football stop scrolling. The Vikings won in overtime. But that catch? That's forever. 20 moments proving the NFL's best content isn't written by PR teams. It's chaos caught on camera and shared a billion times.